How's it going, guys and geeks? Welcome to the Geek Critique Show. I'm Jen.
I'm Dakota.
And we're going to talk about the true plot behind Infinity War.
Yes, we're going to go through some cryptic comments that the Russo Brothers, the directors of Infinity War and Avengers 4, have made about the true plot of Infinity War. We also want to talk a bit about, what if that could potentially have anything to do with the Fox characters that Disney are trying to get the rights to with the Fox merger. Some behind-the-scenes stuff has happened recently, and we think that is really interesting, and we want to share it with you guys.
We also have some spoilers for Ant-Man and the Wasp and Avengers 4, but we won't say that until the very end, and we will definitely let you know in advance, so if you want to take off, you can.
Yeah, it's not huge spoilers, but it kind of is at the same time.
Potentially.
Alright, all that right after this.
Show me what you got.
Guys, it is Monday. Tonight is the premiere of Avengers Infinity War in Los Angeles. The Russo Brothers have been kind of giving this movie a tour around the world, but only select clips. It hasn't, nobody's seen the whole film yet. Only a few people actually know the true story. I don't even think the actors involved have the full story, because so many of the actors have said we only had a portion of the script, and that there were multiple versions of the script.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
That's how much...
I feel like there's a really big secret going on.
Yes.
A huge secret.
A few weeks ago, they posted, the Russo Brothers, that is, the directors, posted an image on Instagram where they actually, in the second paragraph, the last sentence says, "Only a handful of people know the film's true plot." Now, we've known the general gist of Infinity War for a while now. Thanos is going to come. He's going to try to collect the stones.
Vision has one in his head.
Yeah, so they're going to be trying to protect him. The Guardians are going to come.
They're going to Wakanda.
Yeah, we have a general idea. I feel like we know a lot, but I think that's what they want us to know.
Yeah.
And I think there's
that's
something
what it seems
more
like.
That is happening behind the scenes that we're not seeing.
Which I have to say, I really do hope that this is true, because it would be so refreshing to go into a movie and be totally, thrown off.
Yeah,
especially a huge blockbuster like this.
One that you've been expecting for so long. 10 years. This is a 10-year in the making
It's
film.
all we can think about this week. We're going this weekend. Well, Thursday. We're going Thursday to see it, and we're just so excited.
Yeah, so we actually have a lot of Infinity War stuff planned this week. Wednesday, we have a really fun show for you guys. We're going to try our best to pinpoint the most essential MCU films of them all by crossing off the ones that aren't as essential to Infinity War. Not that they're not as good or whatever, but definitely check out our channel Wednesday morning, because we're going to have that planned. It's going to be so fun, but it's going to be torture at the same time to
torture.
Mark off different films that we're not...
as non-essentials when you love them.
So, the true plot. I think we're going to see some deaths.
Yeah, well, of course.
It's going to happen. It's been actually confirmed that there are deaths in the movie, several deaths. We don't know how big those deaths are.
And we don't know who will be brought back.
Right, because we know that if you've read, the Infinity Gauntlet storylines and stuff, and comic books in general, people come back from the dead.
Yeah, it's a thing.
But the stones actually have that ability to bring back the dead.
I wonder if maybe Thanos has... Now that you... this is kind of off topic, but I wonder if that's a thing that he wants to do. Maybe that would be a secret plot point, that what everybody thinks he wants to do with the gauntlet is actually different.
Maybe.
And what if he actually has a pretty good... He seems like a pretty, jolly dude. He has a smile on his face.
Put a smile
so I'm
on
totally
his face.
kidding.
Well, we know from the trailer, if you've actually been paying attention to what he's saying in the background of all the awesomeness that's playing on screen, he says he wants to annihilate not the entire universe. He just wants to cut the population in half.
Which is a very specific goal.
Why? Like, what?
But why, though?
But why? Like, is he worried about overpopulation specifically on Earth or something? I don't know.
Yeah, that seems a little, like, non-essential to him.
But what if, in his doing so, he brings people from another universe into the Marvel universe. That could be a way to introduce certain characters that Marvel doesn't or hasn't owned in a while.
Yeah, that's true.
Like those Fox characters, X-Men, Fantastic Four, Deadpool. I kind of don't think we're going to get something as strong as that in this movie.
I think the problem is, too, there are so many cast members already. To start introducing new people would be a bit much.
That's true.
But maybe hinting at, because you have a pretty good theory if you'd like to share it.
Before we do that, I want to talk about some potential other like plot points.
Oh, okay.
I mean, we're talking about people who were dying. Who do you expect? This is
automatically.
This is not spoilers. This is speculation. So if you don't want to know what we think is going to happen, sorry, leave. Go ahead.
Automatically, I think Iron Man and or Captain America will die because they are such essentials. I almost feel like one will like risk their life for the other or something like that, especially after, you know, all that we saw in Civil War.
I could picture Tony doing that.
Yeah, I could picture it too, actually. Him doing that, just because deep down he really has a heart of gold.
Saying something
really
like,
doesn't have a heart
Steve, you've been the shield for too long. Something corny like that. And then like taking a blast or whatever.
Yeah.
But we know both of those actors have returned for Avengers 4 filming. Whether that is just like to throw us off the scent.
Yeah, I feel like right now they're trying so hard to make sure nobody knows what's going on. I mean, we do know that Odin died, so Thor could die. It just seems unlikely to me.
It does.
That seems, like, I don't know why. Like, I would be really surprised if Thor died for no reason other than I'd be surprised.
To be surprised.
I'd be like, whoa.
But what if something happens because they die and they don't actually... They didn't actually die in the first place? What if we get a Skrull invasion? There's a reason we don't know the name for Avengers 4.
Yeah.
And that's coming out next year.
So why don't you, like, you know, give the good kids back home a little walkthrough of the Skrull?
Okay, so the Skrull are an alien race. In the MCU history, this is going to be touched in 2 films down the line in Captain Marvel, taking place in the 90s. The Kree, which... We have met in Guardians of the Galaxy, we've met in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and the Skrull, which are shapeshifters. They can take the identity of someone. They not only taking the identity, but they take the memories, and they actually feel like they are the person. So it's I don't know why that would be useful in a society, unless, like, you know, that's just how they've, I guess, evolved in this universe. But there's a Kree and Skrull war, and that takes place in the 90s, and that's when Captain Marvel is going to be taking place. There's a reason that movie takes place in between Avengers 3 and Avengers 4. Most likely, Captain Marvel will be in Avengers 4. But what if they were introduced to the Skrull, who are shapeshifters, and one of the only ways that you can find out if someone's actually a Skrull is by killing them, and their body becomes, you know, a green alien.
We do have some, like, canon basis for this in Jessica Jones.
True.
There is a scene that I, like, freaked out when it came on, where a girl is, like, trying to get Jessica Jones on a case, and she says that these, like, big lizard people are taking over the government, and that they have, like, Jay-Z or something like that. And she makes it sound so ridiculous, but when you think about what she says, it sounds an awful lot like the Skrull.
Yes, it just sounds like a conspiracy theory in the moment, but knowing that these things exist... in future films, it feels a little too coincidental. Mm-hmm. So I highly expect that we're going to be getting some sort of Skrull invasion at the end of this movie.
Yeah. That's
going to be introduced. I mean, I don't know this for sure. This is, again, speculation, but I'd be surprised if it
We're probably going to say about 20 times that this is speculation, because if we say it 5 times, someone's going to comment, "Oh my gosh, you ruined the movie for me." Spoilers, this is all speculation.
We've been thinking about this for a while. Now, for a few movies, Tony Stark has been selling his Avengers Tower, or Stark Tower. Mm-hmm.
This is the theory that I like.
The one on 42nd Street. And we've actually mentioned it here on the channel before, but who is he selling it to? It's such an iconic building within the MCU. I feel like it could be Oscorp, which would be like a direct Spider-Man tie-in.
Yeah, that's true.
But I think it would be a lot more interesting and a bigger reveal altogether if they chose someone like the Fantastic Four, the Baxter Building. It's a family of scientific billionaires. Mm-hmm. And I think that would be the best way to end, like an end credit scene. That would just blow everyone's mind. I want to see that so bad, and I feel like I'm going to be disappointed if it doesn't happen.
Because it's like, he's mentioned it so many times, if it doesn't happen, I'll be heartbroken for him, honestly.
But there's actual, like, reasons I think that could be the case. Now, let's go back to X-Men, because there was supposed to be an X-Men movie coming out this month. It should have actually came out last week, which is just bizarre, because besides the first teaser that we got for New Mutants, which was supposed to arrive April 13th, it was pushed back to February of 2019. Why? For reshoots, that's what they claimed. And then just recently, that was moved back again to August of 2019. That's well over a year past its original
crazy.
Release
it's
date.
Like, how much are you just making a whole entirely new movie, or is this just like?
Well, the early rumors were that they were adding another character into the mix, and they had to reshoot every scene.
Oh, jeez,
because of
poor
that.
actors.
But I don't buy it. I definitely don't buy it, especially because they pushed it back so far. The director of the film has actually gone on record as saying, like, he hasn't gone on record, but like the rumor is that he's very upset with that shift. Also of note, and this is too big of a coincidence to be a coincidence, is the fact that X-Men Dark Phoenix, which was supposed to come out in November of this year, has now been pushed back to February of next year. Of all the Fox movies to be pushed back, those are the only two. And they're both X-Men movies. Especially in lieu of all of what's happening behind the scenes with the Disney and Fox merger.
In lieu.
Which likely won't become finalized until, like, maybe early 2019. That's what I'm guessing. But I have reasons to believe that it will go through, especially the CEO of Bob Iger has stated that he would like to run for president of the United States. But he said that if the Fox merger goes through, he'll stay on through the next election. Through 2021, I believe.
That's such an odd thing to, like, base your candidacy off of.
But it makes sense business-wise, because Trump doesn't want the competition if he's planning for re-election in 2020. So by granting him the merger, because it has to go through his hands. Oh,
jeez.
It's kind of...
When did my superhero movies become political? When did this happen? This isn't fair to me.
2018. That's
when your
superhero movies became political. So I think that's happening. Also, check out this brief teaser from Marvel that just dropped. The Fantastic Four have been gone from the comic books for ages now.
Yeah. And this is like a huge thing.
The X-Men have been suppressed for a few years. They haven't been in, like, any marketing. They stopped making toys for X-Men because they're trying to, like, push the brand of X-Men away from the Marvel Studios brand, the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Now the X-Men are, like...
shining.
They're shining. Like, Marvel is, like, highlighting them regularly, and now they're highlighting the Fantastic Four randomly. This is out of nowhere, seemingly. But what if it isn't out of nowhere? What if they're trying to get people hyped for something right before Infinity War where they announce it?
Makes sense. And I feel like, too...
I'm trying, like, not to hype myself up right now.
In, like, comics and in novels, you know, to do with, like, cinematic universes or movie releases in general, the comics and books do kind of tell a lot more. Or hint at a lot more. Like, we see it a lot in Star Wars, too.
Yeah, you guys have probably seen the trend where Marvel comics tend to push their storylines based on what's happening in the movies. Like, they'll write whole story arcs based on the big films that are coming out.
And it only makes sense.
They made another Civil War right around the time of Captain America Civil War. They did an Ultron arc right at the time of Age of Ultron. They keep doing stuff like that.
So we're not crazy to say, oh, look at that, they're doing a Fantastic Four comic. This is probably going to tie into the massive movie that they're coming out with.
Yeah.
It's
There's some precedent for it.
Yeah,
And
we're not crazy, okay?
we're a little crazy. So I think that might be part of the true plot. Obviously, we can't possibly know what the Russo brothers have in store. We do know that Avengers 3, Avengers Infinity War, is its own movie. It has a beginning, middle, and end. That's what the Russo brothers keep stressing. And Avengers 4 has a beginning, middle, and end. They're not two parts of the same story.
Yeah.
But they are sequential storylines. They're serialized storylines. And they have also mentioned that once these movies are out, it'll be really interesting to watch from their first film, Winter Soldier, then Civil War, then Infinity War, then Avengers 4, which we still don't have a name for, which we just mentioned, but it'll probably leak online tonight because the premiere...
Oh, but I don't want to know until...
I don't want to know either.
Yeah, I don't want to know until I'm in the theater. Because as much as I love to speculate and, try to figure stuff out on my own, I hate when it's just told to me. It ruins all of
it. It does. Speculation is fun.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
We're getting into spoiler territory, so if you are curious, stay along, but this is definite spoilers for Avengers 4, specifically a huge scene in Avengers 4. And that does give hints at what happens in Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yeah.
Which also, remember, this takes place in between Avengers 3 and 4. So there's a reason that takes place right there. So Sebastian Stan, the actor who plays Bucky, the Winter Soldier, and now I think he's called White Wolf in the latest Black Panther film. He has mentioned he leaked some information he shouldn't have about one particularly huge scene. We don't know if it's a fight scene or anything like that, but apparently everybody's in it. And
he said it took like 3 months to coordinate.
Yeah. Imagine like one scene taking 3 months to coordinate all the actors being there.
Which is awesome. So I wonder if that was that day where it was like everybody, remember, they were like all posting pictures and saying like what a cool thing it was to be a part of that.
Maybe, or that might have. I probably not, because I think what you're talking about is like the time they got together for the big picture.
Yeah, but like, don't you think that it could have been on the same day?
It might have been around the same filming period, but I don't think they'd want to like any pictures going out on set, especially that. But anyway. We find out that several characters, well, he says literally everyone's there, including Samuel L. Jackson's Nick Fury.
I'm excited for him to come back.
Yeah, we also have Michael Douglas's Hank Pym from Ant-Man. But we also have someone that we didn't know survived. That would be Michelle Pfeiffer's Janet Van Dyne, so Hank Pym's wife.
So that means they go into the quantum freaking realm, people.
Yes. Maybe not in Avengers 4, but if they bring her back from the quantum realm in Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yeah, then she'll be ready for Avengers 4.
Guys.
Which, I mean, who doesn't love Michelle Pfeiffer, first of all? Catwoman, let's go!
That'd be great if there was some sort of call out to that. Anyway. Thank you guys so much for watching. We got a big show for you Wednesday, so please stick around. Subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, like, subscribe, and have we mentioned that this is all speculation?
I don't think so.
It's all speculation.
Bye, guys.
Bye.